Welcome everybody to AMCA Small Business Series. Today's topic will be Arizona Contractor Health Insurance Plan. This is a second phase to the first phase we did about 2 weeks ago with Cambridge Benefit Solutions. At this point in time, I would like to introduce Mr. Don Fechter, who is the president of Cambridge Benefit Solutions, and also Mr. Barton Saltz, who is a benefits advisor. So can you tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Yeah, I can start. Thank you, Ricardo, as always, for the opportunity and really being able to pass on information to your members and being a resource, especially on this topic of employee benefit health insurance and health insurance plans and some options, and an exclusive one for contractors and trade groups. So a little bit on myself for history and Cambridge Benefits and the Alera Group. I personally have been in the business over 30 years, grew up in the business basically, and seen a lot happen through the years. And I've been an individual benefits consultant independently for the last 23 plus years. And we are part of a larger group, Barton and I are business development advisors. And we are part of Benefit Commerce Group and Cambridge Benefits here in the state of Arizona, partnering together. We are the largest employee benefits firm here in the state. And we independently are part of a very large organization nationally with a great scope, with some national abilities and opportunities there if companies are multi-state, where we are the 11th largest independent firm here in the country as well. So we've had over 200 awards here in Arizona for best places to work. Clients really having opportunities to be a best place to work, but also in the area of having the healthiest employer environment or culture. We also excel in that area. We serve over about 1,700 clients. And one of our main niches is the contractor trade groups. We're participating in about 7 different associations with American Minorities Contractors Association here in Arizona, that group. We've been part of your program for over 10 years and in the association being active, and just love working with you. So that's a little bit about me. Barton, did you want to share a little bit of your business experience?
Sure. Yeah, Barton Saltz, been in business development here in Arizona for over 10 years and have worked for Don and Cambridge Benefit Solutions for the past 3.5, and have enjoyed being involved in AMCA here for over 3 years, and just glad to be part of the call here today.
Yeah, and a little bit on to Ricardo's point to finish up just in the introduction part is we really strive in our business philosophy is to innovate and come up with some new solutions. And what we're going to talk about today is one of our passions is banding together as a trade group, a construction group, and talk about how some small and mid-sized employers can band together to purchase employee benefit health insurance at a discount at a lower cost coming into the program and year over year. And last fireside chat that we had, like Ricardo, you had shared, we talked about employee benefit benchmarking, which again, I encourage people to take a look at that session as well, where employees and employers can really kind of understand a little bit more and compare themselves, what the averages are out there of what other companies in their industry are offering for benefits, how do the costs stack up compared to others in the industry. So that's a great session as well to take a look at. So that's a little bit about us, and thank you for having us today.
You know what, and touching back to our last presentation we did about the benchmarking, a lot of employers can find that they are better off than what they're dealing with already with their insurance benefits just by benchmarking, that they can find ways to save and still have a viable benefit program for their employees, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity because most people are just in the not knowing stage. They don't know what others are doing, and it's great to have analytics and numbers. And it's the largest one in the state. It's very viable. It's credible. There's over 400 companies that are participating. That's kicked off recently here in February for the 2021 survey that's going on. So we encourage people to take a part of it. So they get information and knowledge is important, and then you can use it to design and have an understanding of how your benefits compare and how you can be more distinctively different and uncommon to others in the marketplace, or your competitors as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think that opens up a lot of eyes, and and I want to thank Don and Barton and of course Cambridge Benefit Solutions for being value members of the AMCA and have helped a lot of our members with their programs and stuff, and constantly provide information. It doesn't make a difference if you're a member or not, but they provide information to small businesses to assist them and guide them and help them. So I thank you for that. I mean, that is something that a lot of people just don't do.
Right. Agreed.
So maybe moving on is what are the unique offerings provided for AMCA members on the Arizona Contractors health insurance plan? Can you share a little bit about the history of the program, what makes it uncommon, innovate, and how this could be of help and benefit a company long term?
Yeah, thanks. We're excited to introduce the Contractor Health Insurance Plan program. It is a great help, it is a great benefit, and there's a great story behind it of what this can offer differently than others. And most companies, just through their consultant, just are not aware of the program. They don't hear about it. And it's thriving. It's a solid, proven program. And so we're going to share some details and specifics, but on the background of it, I can tell you, again, being in the industry for over 30 years, and I know Ricardo, the electrical group, the HVAC group, and different associations, they all keep coming and asking, like, help. My companies, my members are wanting some help to find a program where they as a company could join other companies to purchase health insurance like a bigger company at a lower cost. And for many years, have tried, and there's been some insurance carrier offers that tried to go into that space, but typically the national insurance carriers don't really like and play well in that space or effective or proven long-term. Sometimes it's a 2-year, 3-year kind of offer, and then it goes away. It just kind of blows up and just fades. And that's happened through the years, even when I was on the insurance carrier side. So what happened back some years ago, way back actually before I was born in 1935, EMI Health, and that company, EMI, stands for Educators Mutual Insurance Company, and they are very accomplished. They're a regional carrier out of Utah. They're a very conservative company that have proven to really band companies together, small and mid-sized companies, and where they started was, hence their name, educational, kind of school kind of situations where the schools up in Utah, they would band them together, a bunch of small and mid-sized schools, to purchase insurance like a large school district. And they proved that to be very effective. And then they started spinning off into other industry groups, credit unions, nonprofits, construction. And they, for many, many years, had done a great job there. And then they decided to, back in 2013, to expand. They wanted to grow. So they came down to Arizona looking to enter this market. And then they turned to us, Cambridge Benefits, since we were, again, very active in a lot of different trade and construction associations. And can we work together to design, to build some plans, rates, and have a competitive offering besides what is traditionally out there? And so we put a lot of work, and it's been a great success. It's been incredibly successful for the last 8 years. It's strong and it's thriving. The group is growing. And again, it's just a great way for companies to really enter into the program and have a different offering, because typically, especially in the advent of the ACA law that was passed in 2010, really there was a change of what small and mid-sized companies could take as a viable option. And it really kind of narrowed down the playing field a little bit, where the government moved the carriers and the industry towards community rating, where it's really set plans, set rates based really on a specific age of an employee and their dependents. And really, it took away some of the opportunities back then and along the way. And it's been changing recently, where for a while there, the companies could not get preferred rates. If they were a younger aged group, They didn't use the plan that much. They had low claims cost, and they were underwritten appropriately. In the past, that was available. And then because of the ACA law change, some of those plans in that way of underwriting groups appropriately for their particular claims cost and risks went away. But then now really that's changed a lot. And now there is this opportunity to get into an underwritten preferred industry group like construction and trade groups and come in at a preferred rate and really try to avoid the community rated kind of trend year over year cost increases that happen that just don't seem to stop. And this helps limit that trend year over year cost in a kind of a hybrid kind of self-insured program, and that's preferred and lower cost rated because of the industry, and to avoid those 10 to 11% plus rate increases year over year through trend and other reasons why costs go up for different reasons. So that's a little bit of the background on the contractor program, how it came to be, and how it evolved.
You happen to mention something that has been ongoing for a while, trend. Everybody's talking about how they're trending and things like that. Can you explain just what this means for our industry?
Yeah, for the industry and even just healthcare industry as a whole, I mean, trend is really a term that's used typically to describe annual inflationary cost increases for healthcare services. So insurance carriers attribute this cost increases in a variety of ways with many different factors. And there's these different storylines and consultants kind of share the same. But it's not always justified. It's really, in some ways, yes, but in so many ways, especially for small and mid-sized companies, like why do things keep trending up? We can't change our cost for services to bid a job and keep changing those costs job over job, year over year, 10, 11% increases year over year. But the insurance industry, the healthcare industry seems to go there regularly. And there are some viable factors, but to what level, what's reasonable and fair? Some of those costs that add to trend is that hospitals and clinics and doctors and specialists want to charge more for their cost of services that they provide. They want to pass it on. You hear a lot about specialty prescription higher cost. That is a huge increase to the cost of a healthcare plan as a whole. Then you had the uninsured group that because of the change of the law and the pass of the ACA, the Affordable Care Act law in 2010, then they were working to help about 11 million uninsured people have been provided a plan and some subsidies, and that comes at a cost. It's just not for free. So that gets passed through, and part of the cost formula and different trend costs that come into play that companies are faced with year over year, 9 to 11%, and then and above that at different times with different carriers. So it's a continual rate increase in trend and higher costs. But the good news is that there's other solutions. There's ways to innovate, to underwrite, to have preferred groupings. And that is the EMI Health program, where their trend is lower, than what else is in the marketplace. And that's around 6.4%. And then even the experience of the group, a lot of, again, the trade kind of groups and the demographics of those that are enrolled don't use the plan that much. So the annual renewal cost changes are really nominal. And this is the good news. I mean, this is the icing on the cake here. This is the great part, is like, it was great we have a lot of companies in these different industry pools, but the construction groups here for January 1st, 2021, a 0% increase for the groups. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
0%. Last year in 2020, 1.9%. And if things keep performing and running as it has in the last 2 years, and I'm looking at a report of how the plan's running and all the underwriting factors and cost components and parts and pieces to the plan, if it keeps running like this, again, it's probably going to be another 0, maybe 2% increase. For small and mid-sized companies, that is a huge win. You're beating trend, low cost increases. You don't have to change year over year. a lot of valuable opportunity and timing to participate in the program and at least take a look at it and consider it as another option if you've not heard about it before. So that's a little bit about trend and a little bit more where the recent performance of the program, how it's been running and rating out really.
You know, we've talked about this many times, especially this program. And I've always thought it was a great opportunity for businesses to combine and save rates and everything else. So, you know,
Yeah.
For me, it sounded like a great option, you know, for Arizona Contractors. Can you tell me how many contractor companies are in this program or in this plan?
Yeah.
I can take that, Don. Yeah, as of last year, towards the August 2020, there are approximately 120 local Arizona companies with approximately 5,000 members, which include dependent members. And I know, Don, hopefully you can touch a little bit on transparency a little bit. And then also, this is a very credible plan, which is very measurable year in and year out. And so that's really important for predictability for when companies are in the plan or when new companies just are able to participate.
Yeah, and Ricardo, there's been a lot of interest in when people are made known and can work with a consultant that knows how to, you know, what the program's about, how it works. And really, it's one thing to look at this particular year, that opportunity, but then what does it look like? And you heard just recently, I mean, what it looked like for the last couple of years, and then what can it look in the next future 3 years, 5 years out? And people are coming in, and it's grown really well to 120 companies, and you know, adding companies every single year, and it's large and it's growing. So it's exciting. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I've heard from many companies that they do not understand why the cost of company health insurance plans have to go up every year, and that very little is shared and made known to them of why. How can insurance carriers justify every year for costs to go up and little to no details are provided to justify and explain why the costs are going up? Why does this trend continue? And it happens, and what can be done differently?
Yeah, that's what keeps me up at night, gets me up early in the morning, keeps me moving and innovating. And yeah, you hit on it, Ricardo. It's a great question, you know, and everybody asks why. I mean, why? And we talked about why the insurance carriers can justify and think it's okay to keep increasing the cost, and what, you know, can something be done about it? Because nominally and minimally, it you know, it just kind of keeps happening year over year over year. And it's been happening for a long time. And to me, some of my personal opinions is, you know, again, doing this for 30 years, to me, it's just a passion. I believe the healthcare industry is broken. And I don't, you know, they're not, the plans, the carriers, and the information provided, especially to small and mid-sized employers, it's very limited. It's not clear. It's not upfront, any detailed information for companies to understand why the increase, where is it coming from? With a pool of companies, with our particular company, what does it look like the last year? What do you anticipate for the next year? You know, to help us project, to understand, and what should we be ready for, and to then even then accept or not accept a cost increase, a trend increase, 9 to 11%, 15%, 25%. And it really comes down to, and it sometimes like feels like a shell game, right? Where it's like they're moving things around and you can't see it and starts moving really fast, like when you go to the Diamondback game, right? It's like, man, it just becomes a blur. You can't keep track of that ball under what hat, right?
Be nice to go back to a game.
Yeah, we got to do that. Bring some of your companies and groups and friends of ours. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that because we've done that before, and hopefully soon. And I always like guessing, where's that ball under what hat? But we don't want it to be a guessing game. You know, it's like, we need information. It's meaningful information that's relevant to the company, to the employees, the plan, the program, that the company is paying a lot of money, hundreds of thousands, $500,000 sometimes with some of these companies in healthcare costs. That's a lot of money. And let's be more transparent. It comes down to transparency. Barton touched on it. is that the health insurance carriers really need to put more of their cards on the table to slow down, to provide, to share some more information and not selectively share. And I think that's what really EMI Health does a great job of, is that they actually have quarterly meetings where you actually see the underwriters, the actuaries that, design the plans, rate the plans. They report on the plan, how it's running, where are the claims and the cost, in what buckets, and how is it performing, and they provide a report. They break it down, and it's sometimes like the first time where you kind of look under the hood, like, wow, what's going on here? And now you actually get to see, and then you can anticipate, what the future costs can be, and how can we further be even wiser healthcare consumers based on the information that we know. So, what can we do about it? Look for other opportunities in companies and programs that are more transparent and can provide information and give companies an opportunity to know where they're at and where the program is at, and then, decide if this is for them or not.
So what's the difference between this plan and other major carriers like United Healthcare, Aetna, Blue Cross, et cetera? I mean, these are large healthcare providers. Is there a difference between the two?
Actually, no. They're very similar. I mean, it's going to have the same types of plans and options. There's 18 plan options to choose from. There is full network plans of physicians and hospitals. There's also narrow and limited networks, as well as you can have the choice of a consumer-directed health savings account plan. And one of the nice features is that with all the plans, the teledoc services come with a zero copay. And in regards to deductibles, the deductible plans can range as low as $1,000 deductible up to a $7,000 deductible plan. Also, there is an add-on plan that you can have for $129 a month, which provides employees with common day-to-day services like copays for doctor visits, urgent care, walk-in clinics, MRIs, x-rays. And then there's also discounts for prescriptions as well. And then there's also a nice integrated wellness program that's also integrated with the fully insured plans.
Yeah, and Ricardo, on that particular point, what Barton was sharing with that kind of base core minimum essential kind of coverage plan for $129, the family is under $300. So a lot of young youthful, I was there in the past, where like, oh, nothing can hurt me. It's like, I don't need insurance. I'm going to go uninsured. Well, we do have accidents. We go adventuring, quadding, sports. So some people go uninsured. Here's a nice option, uncommonly, that other insurance carriers, the national carriers, really don't embed or offer this kind of a plan. And then really a lot of people go uninsured. Here is a lower cost plan, and it can just be another third or fourth plan option to consider. So a lot of options.
Yeah, I'm also, glad to see about the teledocs. I mean, I knew about teledocs for over a couple of decades now, but this is something that, because of the situation that we're in, has become very prominent. So I'm glad to see that that's covered in the program itself. Yep. But I want to know, what about the provider network that is provided?
Sure. A company typically will have two options. They can choose the Blue Cross Blue Shield network or the Cigna network. The core provider list, this also includes the core provider list of hospitals and doctors, which cover almost all of the greater Phoenix area. Additionally, the Blue Cross network, the Cigna network also include the Mayo Clinic and doctors in network providers.
Okay, excellent. So how does a company become part of the contractor's health plan, and what are the requirements?
Sure, that's a great question. So a company needs to have at least 10 enrolled employees, so at least 10. The target company group size ranges from 10 enrolled, or I would say 20 employees all the way up to 150 eligible employees. So I'd say a good starting point for a company is to have at least 20 employees to look at this program for their company.
Yeah, and I would just, offer up that, how can you become part of it? Just reach out to your current consultant, or, through Ricardo and the association, or through us, to just pass on information so you do know and know it's another viable option in the marketplace to band together with other companies and pass on some of the history. We can send you past plan performance analytics if you want it. The power deck slide deck, that they go over on these quarterly meetings. So information and knowledge is important. So we're happy to pass anything on. Just, we want the word out there, because the bigger the group, the better. More premium to spread the risk and keep the risk low, keep the rates low. Everybody's happy.
Yeah, and you basically, that was going to be my next question. So the best way to get more information on this would be to get in touch with Mr. Don Fechter or Mr. Barton Saltz. Don's contact information is don@cbsarizona.com, and phone number is 602-881-8887. And Mr. Barton Saltz is at Barton, B-A-R-T-O-N, at cbsarizona.com. And his number is 623-341-2954. And of course, you can always contact the AMCA office. And we have their information. We can pass that on to you. And you can contact us at admin@amcaaz.com, or you can call 602-495-0026. And again, these two gentlemen are just a valuable amount of resource and knowledge and expertise that they bring to the table to help businesses as a whole, but primarily our members within the AMCA. Are there any other closing thoughts that you two gentlemen might have?
Just a super great thank you.
Yep.
We just,
Always.
the world of you, Ricardo, and your association members, we just want to take care and just be available and be of great help. And just thank you for the opportunity and to be able to speak with you, but also your members. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And you guys do bring a lot of value to the table. And again, you guys are very valued members of the AMCA. And thank you for your constant support of the organization. So, gentlemen, thank you. Take care. Have a good day. And we'll talk soon.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you, Ricardo.
Bye-bye.